right, everybody, as promised, I got Patrick the MDV so he can tell you guys what his thoughts are on it. So what do you think?
I really like the knife as well as the Kydex design. Um, the the little miniature hook here, the pocket hook. This is starting to get a lot more common, especially on your karambits and your little reverse grip knives. The cool thing about this guy is that you could have it in here and it allows for you to pull from your pocket, so you don't have to have the knife exposed in any type of a way. When you've got this kind of stuff and you have it in your pocket, it's a little bit more discreet than when you've got half of your knife dangling out of your pocket, or you've got it clipped on or clipped onto your waist. So if you're going for concealability, something like this could be pretty nice if you're doing like a nighttime walk or something where you want to have your knife in your hand but just have it in your pocket. So you're seeing a lot more of these little pocket hooks on a Kydex that will even have the ability to mount a clip to it, so it just gives you an added feature. I feel like stuff like this can go a long way with knife companies now, just making their product more versatile right out of the box. I really do like the blade. I like the way it seats in my hand. I've got kind of a mitt, but I could still get my hand around it. I don't know if they plan on making a little bit bigger version for maybe an operator, somebody that's going to be wearing gloves, but I do know that I probably wouldn't be able to fit this in my paw if I had a pair of even just basic shooting gloves on. So I do like it. They did a chisel grind on here, which means they really lay flat and contour and sharpen one side. It tends to hold an edge really well, so if it's going to be something that you're going to be using, it shouldn't be too difficult for you to keep a good edge on it. Also, you've got the ability to strike with the puño here with this pinky guard, and it also gives you a nice leveraging ability if you're having to like work your arm free if somebody's grabbing a hold of it. So I do like it. I'd have to say probably the only negative things that I have to say are related to the trainer. And as we saw today, when you have a chisel grind on your trainer, it really does minimalize the surface area. So even though this is just beveled but not sharpened, it can still be quite uncomfortable if you're training with it, especially if you're starting to work disarms and things like that. We also had some issues where as it's being disarmed, not having some of this stuff chamfered a little bit, or at least having a little bit of a slight rounded bevel here, just kind of makes it bite into your hands. So it is so close to the live blade. I see what they were doing there, but the downside is when you don't have enough material on some of these trainers, it really limits how much you can use the trainer, because really when you start thinking about light contact sparring and stuff, there's just not enough surface area here to safely use it with any real force. But if you were using it for deployment techniques and things like that, you want something as close to your blade as possible. So I do feel like it would be a great blade for practicing deployment. But when you start getting into the contact of it, it might just need a little more meat on the bone here to not hurt your partner. I've gotten some great trainers where they're very similar to the live blade, but I'm just limited on the function of them because I can use them for deployment, but not much else. So anyhow, I do love that you guys are pumping out trainers with more of your knives. I can't say enough good things about this. I really do feel like in the future, that's what's going to separate your premier knife companies from the ones who just make knives. You can have a million different products, but if you don't create something that mirrors them and is functional to use and train with, you're really limiting your clientele. Anyhow, I do enjoy it. We did a lot of work with the blades today. Other than adding a little beef to that trainer, I can't say enough good things about the design here. And I'll be honest, this isn't probably a knife that, it's so simple aesthetically that I was a lot more impressed with it after working with it. Usually I tend to like some finger grooves here. I've had instances where I've been cut and still had to use a knife. So I usually am pretty, I'm kind of grip snobby, I tend to want to have some good texture or at least some decent scales, some micarta or something that's gonna hold up if it gets wet. But this thing just feels really good and locks in your hand. at the pinky and the forefinger. So I enjoy it. I really like the live blade. Yeah, good job, guys.
All right, thank you.